In a world of 16-hour grinds and max mains, there's a different.
I mean, do we really need this? Hey, look, listen. This is the first video of mine you're seeing. Please stay till the end. There's some pretty good montages in here, in my opinion, but this is 6 months worth of progress on 2 hours per day. Hey, hope you enjoy.
Is a working man's Iron Man.
All right, first day on the Working Man Iron Man. The kind of goal for the account is to play for 2 hours a day, record the progress, and then post it to show what can you accomplish with a limited amount of playtime every week. There's like a guide in the description of the video that you can follow along with if you are starting your first Iron Man. I try to break it down to where quests done in certain areas, you kind of stay in that area and do more quests. So level 2 thieving is our first level. And this is an example of what I was talking about earlier. We're just trying to do a couple of quests at one time all together, you know, that way we can limit the amount of running around we have to do. Stocking up on some wines in Drainer Village. This is a cheap food, 1 coin, gets you 11 HP. Grabbing the cheese from Aggie's house. And then running back down to Lumbridge, starting the X marks the spot quest. And I grabbed a egg and milk and flour. This is the end of the Restless Ghost. I about said Kristen Girl. Jesus Christ. Cook's assistant. We wanted to intentionally burn that piece of meat, so you cook it twice. If you don't burn it the first time, just cook it again. Completing X marks the spot. Grabbing a Eye of Newt from, I think it's Betty, and then getting an onion. Now what you want to do is run up and grab a snake grass there too. Witch's Potion completed. And then you want to kill these imps all the time. And there's a bead. You need a red, white, black, and yellow. Just getting some free coins from the Stronghold of Security. And getting punched to death by a spider. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we go back, we get the rest of our 10,000 coins. And our fancy boots. We won't be wearing them for too long, but they're just cool. I went to Varrock, spent my money on a Staff of Fire and some runes. Went back to Lumbridge to get level 5 thieving. Rune Mysteries completed. And what you want to do from here is walk up to Drainer Village, buy the Chronicle, which is that book in my hand, and buy the teleports. Once you do that, go up and complete Witch's House. Using the Edgeville lever, I teleported to Artie so that I could complete some diaries. This next part you're about to see is not very necessary, as you can complete Biohazard and Fight Arena to get a higher thieving level. This was essentially a waste. That's going to be the end of day 1, or Monday. Okay, starting off Tuesday of the first working man's week. Here's the stats. I forgot to show it at the end of the last day, so we're showing it now. Total playtime. We're going to get right to work buying 20 balls of wool and killing imps for beads. We are at the Artie Monastery. That's where we are. Grabbing this lit candle before completing a monk's friend for some wood cutting levels. And then we use our home teleport to get back to Lumbridge. Sheep shear completed. I got 4 pots of flour and I'm gonna milk this cow. Grabbing some feathers and sardines. Now you don't need to do this either. With the completion of Plague City, it'll put you at a high enough mining level. I'm using this portal here to go from Edgeville to Ferox to pick up these iron bars in the wilderness, and then taking the canoe back down to Edgeville. I forgot to start the Night Sword while I was in Falador, so I'm running back. Do not do this. Don't make this mistake. While in Varrock, go ahead and grab your priest top and bottom. And then also grab these pie dishes off the table in the Varrock Palace. You have to stop here to talk to Reldo anyways for the Night Sword, so just grab them while you're here. Okay, so I completed the lumberyard portion of Gertrude's Cat, and now we're going to grab these red berries from the south wall of Varrock. Gertrude's Cat is now completed, and I am going to cook these pies. You want to cook these red berry pies, you only need 1 to be successful. But we essentially took the pastry dough, put it into the pie shell, and then now we're going to cook the pies. And there's the Night Sword completed. $10 collections, so now we can do the tourist trap. And that would be the end of Tuesday. Feels like a quick day, but there's a lot of walking and gathering involved with Tuesday. So here's the final stats for Tuesday. Starting off Wednesday strong with the tourist trap completed. For 26 agility. Turning in my beads for Imp Catcher while I'm on this side of the world. Also grab some beef and chicken from Lumbridge. Finishing it off with Mistle and Mystery. We're really focusing that crafting XP. I'm buying 1 chocolate bar from Artie. I used the lever trick once again. Killing this bear for some bear meat, raw bear meat. And I try to do my farming patch every time I run by. So with a knife, that light source we grabbed from Monk's Friend, we run down here in the Temple of Ikov area and grab the Boots of Lightness. No more fancy. Grabbing some fishing bait from the fishing shop in Catherby. And with that is day 3 completed. Here's the stats. Starting off day 4, Thursday, I actually missed some recording content. I did Murder Mystery, so I just ran north from Camelot, where we logged out of Wednesday. Did that quest for more crafting XP. Grabbed me some dwell berries and some king worms in Mick Gruber's woods. Came down here, started the dwarf cannon quest. Like I said, we really want to get some crafting XP. And there is Plague City completed. There's the mining XP. You didn't have to do all that mining prior. This is the biohazard portion in Varrock. Just trying to knock it out while I'm here. I had to come here for this. And since I came here, I did Children of the Sun. After that, I ran down to this house. It's south of Fortis. Has a charcoal spawn, and a wine spawn. I just grabbed a few of each. Ran down and completed the Riveting Tail quest. And picked more red berries from south of Iraq. Completing the museum and doing the portion of Dwarf Cannon in the Dwarven Mines area. Biohazard completed, along with Dwarf Cannon completed. I'm unlocking the Bar of Assault minigame telly and then starting Waterfall quest. At the base of Baxtorian Falls, there's this man named Rizzolo. You want to buy one Greenman's Ale from him for later. Starting the Grand Tree on my way down. And I bought all of this to make a Fruit Blast. And this is where we log out for the day. Don't let it confuse you. Starting off Friday with a nice juke to a fight arena. We're gonna save Tree Gnome for later. And while I'm in Port Kazard, I grabbed some seaweed, buckets of sand, and the plank spawns. Alright, for a little context, I missed the part where I talked to Hazelmere for the Grand Tree. I also went to Yanil and talked to Alec at his Hunter Emporium for the diary task. And grabbed a rotten tomato. Right? Yeah. And now we're starting Hazil Cult. Hazil Cult completed. Don't forget that purple dye when you run by the tree. Finishing up 25 Thieving. Doing the Observatory quest. And I am stocking up on some super anti-poisons. Observatory completed. Crafting is the focus. We get the Glorious Pebble from Tree Gnome. We go and do Tree Gnome Village while we're here. Easy. This is the part of the Grand Tree where you have to go to Karamja to get your lumber order. I'm just going to home telly and go do some things on that side of the map. Okay, so after your home telly, you'll be here, or you need to go here. Get your rusty sword for your arty diary, now that you have the thieving levels. Grabbing some teleports for my chronicle. Yep, hold 2. And gotta have Newt, getting some air runes and some mind runes, completing Goblin Diplomacy. And now we go do Druidic Ritual. We're zooming, and this is going to be the end of day 5, Friday, yeah. Saturday, here we go. Starting off with the completion of Black Knight's Fortress. Recruitment drive completed. And we have to start RFD to knock out a quest for now. The dig site completed. Yeah. Buying some nails from the lumberyard and then doing Daddy's home. I don't know what that ticken's for. Doing the Vrock portion, or actually this is starting Demon Slayer. That's what this is. Going to mine 12 coal to save them for later. It takes a minute. Here we're grabbing 10 clay, 4 copper, 2 iron, minimum of 2 iron for a couple quests. Doric's quest completed. I forgot bread. Don't forget your bread. Home teleport back, and then Goblin Generals completed. Turning into 25 bones for Demon Slayer while I'm down here. And that is it for Saturday. It's Sunday, the final push. Here's the stats starting off the day. We are getting everything ready to go questing. We gotta try to turn everything in today. Buying some papyrus from Ali Morsane. Getting the sickle mold from the crafting shop, all in Al Kharid. We run over and complete sleeping giants for some smithing. And we start the golem up until we have to leave for the dig site. We head back over to the arty side, complete the grand tree waterfall with no food. That's what happens. You can use your Barbarian Salt minigame teleport to get back. There was waterfall quest completed. Some more farming. Elemental Workshop 1 completed. Claiming the RD1 cape from 2 pints. And turning in our cat for some death runes. I spent some time trying to get a rune semi from the Orania Warriors or Zamorak Warriors. And then we ran out of runes, so we went and completed Demon Slayer. That's it for the first week. I feel like we got a lot done. All right, welcome back to week 2 of the Working Man's Iron Man. Starting off here today, we're mining some pure essence for Priest in Peril. Now we're gonna run down on our way to start the quest to do the Varrock portion of Elemental Workshop 2, or dig site portion, should I say. Fighting the beast for Priest in Peril. It's not too hard. And then while I was here, since I had to kill one of these for a key, I just killed a few more for a monk robe top and a monk robe bottom to, get some better magic gear. Priest in Peril completed. We immediately start Nature Spirit for Swampletics. And there's Nature Spirit completed. Starting a Poor Scene of Interest. And while I'm here at Drainer Manor, we went and did Ernest the Chicken. A Poor Scene of Interest completed for some Slayer XP. Immediately go next door and start Vampire Slayer. Shield of a Raft completed. Rock portion of Vampire Slayer done. And then we took the Quetzal to Varlamore and did the Antique quest. Well, we started it. Teleported from there and worked in our POH until we got 10 construction. There we go. Now, once you have 10 construction, you want to go ahead and walk out of your house portal here. And you are right in Port Sarim to continue the Antique quest. We're back in Varrock, trying to do our part, and the Antique quest is done. That's going to be the end of Monday, day 1. Here's our playtime. Alright, starting off day 2, we're going to move our house to Taverley. This is strategic. We're going to waste all that money we just got from ethically acquired antiques. And we use an Arty Cape Telly to go and do Sheep Herder. Sheep Herder completed. Worst quest ever. Alright, doing the Clock Tower quest, and Clock Tower completed. Really fast quest. Swinging by the Arty Farm Patch to work on my farming levels. And there's Elemental Workshop 2 completed. Lots of XP. Camelot Farming Patch, working on the farming again. And from the Camelot Farming Patch, we walk right over and start Merlin's Crystal. We're going to use a home teleport outside. This is why we moved our house, so we can go straight to the Lady of the Lake. And while we're here, we're going to run north of Falador and start the Below Ice Mountain quest. Then walk back down to Folly and do the dwarf portion of Below Ice Mountain. Now we're going to run south, grab the things that are in my inventory that you see there, try to go in this building and give the beggar some bread. This is a continuation of the Holy Grail to get Excalibur. And then while we're here in Port Sarim, we're going to go ahead and do the Pirate's Treasure portion. Now you want to stop when you have to go to Varrock. That's the end of the quest for you for now. So about right here, that's where we're going to stop the quest. We get a key and then we move on. Now in continuation from yesterday, we are going to grab our steak, hammer, and garlic, another bread, and a knife. Then we're going to go do Vampire Slayer. Completed. We're going to walk up north a little bit and talk to Checo in the Barbarian Village and do his portion of Below Ice Mountain. And then north of him in Edgeville is Marley. We have to talk to him to see what he wants for Below Ice Mountain as well. And now we're in Varrock, so we're going to do the Varrock portion of Merlin's Crystal, which is checking this Chaos Altar. And the Marley portion of Below Ice Mountain, which is talking to this cook to learn how to make a sandwich. Then we're going to go up these stairs and do the Varrock portion of Pirate's Treasure, giving Marley his steak sandwich. And there is Below Ice Mountain completed. And Pirate's Treasure completed. This is where we're going to stop it at on day 2. Here's stats. And here is the time played. Alright, we got day 3, Wednesday, starting off with the Tower of Life completed. Artie Cloak Telly, you end up right here. A little bit of context here. Already started doing the Fremennik trials. For some reason, the recorder didn't pick up the recording, or I must have didn't hit record. Either way, I tried to go fight the deathless guy, Koji or whatever his name is, and he I pretty much couldn't kill him, so I decided to make some rings of recoil and try again. And yeah, so we finally made it to form number 4. Okay, so now that we've done the Deathless, the Seers one, Seer the Pier, and the one that you have to use the coordinates for his name, Swanson or Swinson or whatever, we run down and stock up on gear. We talk to this guy to get the explosive first, but we run down to Seers Village, we gear back up, and we grab everything we need for Mountain Daughter. This is the Drogon, safe spot in the Drogon. And this should be the Fremennik trials completed, yes. And honestly, it may not seem like a lot, but it took a while to get all of that done in just 2 hours. So there's the time played. There's the stats for Wednesday. I'm sorry, it wasn't a lot. Alright, so this portion here, we already did most of the Mountain Daughter quest. Welcome to day 4, by the way. And once we complete this part where we hand him the certificate of safety, we're going to run down and turn in Merlin's Crystal and start Holy Grail. Now that we've done that, we're going to run over and start the fishing contest. We need access to that underground portion of White Wolf Mountain. Grabbing the trophy. There's the fishing contest completed. Now we can finally use the path under the mountain. So why don't we? This takes you out right to Taverley on the other side. Alright, after walking from Taverley, banking everything, we need to go to Entrana for the Holy Grail. And then once I did the Entrana portion, you have to actually go all the way back. I wasn't going to show all this walking. You had to go all the way back to Camelot, and now we're in Karamja. This is where you can flinch the Titan. So you just hide right here, wait for his HP bar to disappear. And then as soon as it does, you click him and then click back in your spot. You can also do it right in front of him. He didn't seem to attack me here at all. He didn't attack me at all. I wasn't even waiting for his HP to go away. And then you can also do this. You just click behind them in a rhythm. Okay, so while we're here in Lumbridge, I did do a home telly, and we're gonna start the RFD Mountain Dwarf quest. Okay, so you do an RD Cloak teleport, run to this tree right here, the spirit tree, go to Gnome Stronghold, and then go to the glider to Cinderpass. That'll put you at the very top of White Wolf Mountain, where we can then continue the Mountain Daughter quest, where we grab this white pearl fruit, and then we run down the mountain, complete a step of Holy Grail, and then travel back under the mountain to Goblin Village to find Sir Percival. Walk straight down from there and learn how to make Asgoldian ales for the dwarf quest. This is showing how I get to and from Karamja. You just Artie Cape Telly, run up to Artie. Captain Barnaby here will take you to Karamja for 30 gold. Stealing the Holy Grail from the table. Don't know if I'm stealing, I just took it though. Artie Cape Telly, and the same thing to get right back to this part. I actually I didn't bring a bucket of milk, so I couldn't do this portion. So since I scuffed the milk, I just ran over and turned in the Holy Grail. And then I grabbed my bucket of milk, came back down here to get my rock cake made. Run back up to do the Mountain Daughter quest. This is the Kindle fight, easily safe spotted. And then that's Mountain Daughter completed for 2,000 prayer, 1,000 attack, and a bearhead. This is a part of the golem at the dig site. And then we went back to Varrock to grab the statue. And the home teleported, came to Al-Kharid, grabbed a few silver bars and a fake beard headpiece from Ali Morsane. I also started the feud quest and then took the carpet to the golem. That's the golem completed for 1,000 crafting and 1,000 thieving. And that's going to be the end of day 4. There's the stats, and here's the time played. Almost a day of playtime. Alright, starting off day 5 with the feud. When you grab this dung, you want to get more than just one. I got 5. But, I mean, I don't think you need that many. But at least 4, I believe. You should get at least 4. And then safe spotting the Menifite Thug. And then safe spotting the Bandit as well. And with that, that is the feud completed for 15k thieving XP. Now we need some things for Ithilrin's little helper. So I'm grabbing a bucket of sap. And I need to chop down, I need a willow log as well. And then I stocked up on wines in Drainer. Somebody forgot runes again. I brought my runes this time, but it's actually better to use melee, just a staff bash. When I was hitting him with Fire Strike, it wouldn't do anything. So I would bring melee for this. There's Ithilrin's little helper completed. And turning into cat for some death runes. Going back to the GE using this tree and grabbing a new kitten. Now here we are starting Shadow of the Storm. And there's Shadow of the Storm completed. Put it on range. I would. That's going to be it for day 5. Here are the stats. Here's the time played. Over a day of playtime. And things are getting serious. Alright, starting off day 6 with a little bit of light skilling. And then realizing that, yeah, this bronze axe ain't cutting it. So, we take our Quetzal and we go to Varlamore. Just stealing wine from the top of the hunter expert's house. Supposed to, really good money. And then I needed to access the Quetzals, so I had to do enough of the Twilight's Promise and make it to the point where they would give me a Quetzal. This is the last part of the quest I needed to do. And now we can use the Quetzals to teleport around. So I'm selling my wines to this guy on Alderan. And then taking the Quetzal to Auburn Vale to buy a mithril axe. All that for a myth axe. And now we got 36 woodcut and we can finally start the Lost City. So I'm standing here to safe spot these zombies because you have to use magic or range to get a bronze axe. And then here's the safe spot for the tree spirit. Just getting a few extra drummond branches and then teleporting home. There's the Lost City completed. Going straight into Fairy Tale Part 1. I bought some secutors. Did a Chronicle teleport and then jumped over this stepping stones to get this Drainer skull. Once back in Xanaris, I grabbed runes for Falador teleport. Teleported to Folly. Now here's the part where you get your items for Fairy Tale 1. This can sometimes be bad, but in my case, it was actually pretty decent. I got an Avanto, an Irit, and a Blue Dragon Scale. So upon hearing that I got a Blue Dragon Scale, I know you don't have to kill the dragons, but you still have to go around them. So I went ahead and started Dragon Slayer 1, so that I could then grab the anti-dragon shield from Duke Horatio. Came back to the Hunters Guild to grab some more of these wines, or Eclipse Red, whatever. I think they're wines, yeah. Sold them all off, made a decent amount of money. Bought the wrong staff from Auburnvale and stocked up on Chaos Runes. So I was under the impression dragons had a 50% weakness to earth, but upon looking it up, they actually have a 50% weakness. These have a 50% weakness to water. So there's my dragon scale. We're going to be here for a little bit, try to bank some prayer and see if we can grab an Irit or Avanto. There's the stats for day 6. There's the playtime, 1 day, 2 hours. There we go. Alright, so it's day Sunday, the last and final day of the week. We're here killing blue dragons, looking for our fairy tale items. And there is the grimy Irit leaf. And as you can see, I have swapped to the Staff of Water. I killed about 30 dragons. And then, or 35 dragons until I said, you know, I'm gonna go kill some Chaos Druids. Try to get the last herb quickly. And there we go. There's the grimy Avanto. If you do not have the herb lore level to clean the herb, or the herb, you can run down to Narda, talk to Zahir, and she will clean it for you for 200 each. Alright, crossing over to go speak to the nature spirit and getting him to make me some magic secutors. It's now time to kill the Tanglefoot. There's Fairy Tale Part 1 completed. I did another Chronicle Telly, jumped over these stones, and ran down to Drainer to start Fairy Tale Part 2. While I wait, For Martin's crops to grow, I just go ahead and pickpocket the master farmer. Completing a few steps of Fairy Tale to finally unlock the fairy rings. And now quickly, I had about 20 minutes left to spare. So I talked to Sigmund, started the Lost Tribe, Chronicle Telly to Varrock, and then walked over to Goblin Village to unlock the best emote in the game. Turned in my cat for some death runes. Alright, we start off this week with getting a new cat, making a little bit of money, and buying a few stews for future quests, along with a couple of vodkas. Death on the Owl completed. Don't forget to run around and go down this entrance to grab your costume needle. Picked some flax, made some bowstring, 20 fletching, veil totems completed. I did a few runs and got nothing. Picked some red berries and nettles, and ran over and bought a few silk for Ghost Ahoy and some woad leaves for dyes. Introduced the goblins to the Duke. Lost Tribe completed. Full ham set along with all the dyes for Ghost Ahoy. The day 2 footage got messed up, so there's Death to the Dorkishin, the Garden of Death for day number 3. Setting the Lumbridge Castle on fire for 5 fire making. Grabbing some herbs for future questing. 20 cooking. Evil Dave complete. Death runes. Kingler down. Ghost Ahoy completed. Shades of Morton completed. Grabbing some hard leather for animal magnetism. 25 construction. 26 construction. Doing some, I guess, digs or what they call it. I don't know, for the pendant. Bon Voyage completed. Okay, right here, I just wanted to point out that the strange fruit, the purple at the bottom, will restore run, some HP, and cure poison. The pineapples you can use as super compost. And the gallon of a fruit top there you can use to make botanical pies later to boost your herblore level. The giant dwarf completed. Jungle potion completed. Death runes. Shiloh village completed. The beads of the dead are not too bad. +1 strength. Making some money. Okay, for the prayer, you want to activate the obelisk, and then hopefully it takes you to this one here in 44 Wilderness. You want to run down to the Chaos Altar. Make sure your bones are set to use, and then use them as fast as you can on the altar for rapid XP. Trying to run bones once. So I went back and got me some more dragon bones. And was killed again. I'm trying to get 43 prayer. Okay, so for the Volamore one, you want to hop on the bird. You want to run up top of here and bless the bones. Chisel them on the way back down. That fella down there can unnote the bones for you. You want to go to the bank, grab your wines, and bless your wines also. And then we want to run all the way down to the Liberation Bowl and offer your bones there. And that's 43 prayer completed. I did not die, run all the way back, and then kill him. There's the safe spot for the dire wolf for meet and greet. Now, this fight was taking incredibly long, and by the time I realized I was really low on prayer, I tried to do the best I could. I had used 200 death runes, and this fight was taking forever. So
I'm praying for my life. Ain't nobody got time for that.
31 cooking. Made some steel bars. Organized the bank a little, just because it's getting really messy and hard to find things in there. Please. Come on. God. Alright, boys. This week, we're going to focus on herb lore. We're going to focus on some questing. And we're going to focus on becoming more personable. So, I hope you enjoy. Here we go. We are starting off this week with a little bit of construction. We got to make us a crafting table 1. We eventually turn that into a crafting table number 2 any day now, and then we can finally make some clockworks. And for those of you who knows what this means, we're all ready to go for some bird houses. Just laying down the first ones. You don't get any XP until a little bit later when you go to claim them. So we're running some laps in Varrock to get 40 agility. I mean, we don't have it, but. And now we're here in Canifis, running some more laps. I wanted to get a minimum of 44. Look at it. 44 agility. I then went and pickpocketed some master farmers for seeds. Yeah, I know you can buy them, but I need many different types of seeds. Not just seeds for bird houses, but, you know, herb seeds and allotment seeds. Now we are finally claiming our first few bird houses. And the levels are just insane. Alright, so this is actually the start of day 2. And we are doing the underground pass. Now look, I want you to take a note of how many wines I have. And watch how fast they go away. Exactly. Save your path for the next time when you come through for Regicide. And that's it, right? Halfway through the underground pass. Maybe not even halfway. We're already out of food. But luckily, when you come down here, you can buy some. Now, these gloves are good if you have no gloves. Not as good as the iron ones we have on. From this fella here, this is who you buy the food from. You actually don't have to drink whatever he gives you. But keep a note of how much coins I had. It's 75 every time you buy food from him. And I don't want to show how many times I fell, because it was a ridiculous amount. But we could do the math at the end. And lucky for me, I had an Ingus video to watch on the side.
I took damage. Damn it. Well, super antifiers do not work here. Kill 1 HP. Come on.
Alright, there's the ending amount of coins. The math will be put on the screen of approximately how many times I had to buy food from that dwarf. It's ridiculous. There's underground pass completed for 46 attack. And it literally took the full 2 hours for that day. We ended off there with 20 hunter. Starting off day 3 with a taxi service. You can see right there is when he started following me for taxi. Got him. And there's 23 hunter. Just stealing some bread and Ardone for Death Plateau completed. Safe spot for Dad during the Troll Stronghold is actually already marked in Rune Lake. And then for the Troll General, you just stand, you know, like this. Just block them on the wall. Now you can either pickpocket these guys, but if you fail the pickpocket, you have to fight them. And the best thing I can think of is just go into one of these cages. Just go a little farther in these cages and then hit him from there. There's the troll stronghold completed. Did a home teleport, as you can see in the top left corner, to pick up some swamp tar for future quests. Starting another slice of ham. And I did this quest up until the point they send you to the goblin village, but you have to go back to Lumbridge on your own. Instead, I went to Port Phasmatis and made me a fish bowl for RFD Pirate Pete that we started last week. And then I proceed to gather the rest of the materials that I need. So we get some cod and we're gonna make these into bronze wire. This is actually pretty close. Now here we are with the kelp and all the crab that we'll need. So I figured since I'm in Ardone, I'm gonna go ahead and do my Slayer assignment because I need that 18 Slayer. And then we finish up with a little bit of pickpocketing because like I said, I need those seeds. Ending off the day with 25 hunter. Starting off day number 4 with 27 hunter. Always try to do their birdhouse right at the beginning and end of each day. Here is RFD Pirate Pete completed for some cooking XP and crafting. This is another slice of ham, and it is just, I figured I'd keep this in there. If you keep track at the bottom, I'll put the time on the screen. But I mean, honestly, she should be dead, in my opinion. There's another slice of ham completed for 44 prayer. Big choppy bird hunting. Trying to whittle down that RFD. This guy during the Zogre Flesh Eaters quest, the boss, he attacks with melee and range. So I tried kiting, that didn't work. But I mean, we won. Who cares if we're only on 1 HP? And there's Zogre Flesh Eaters completed. For 29 Herblore. Ain't too bad. A mage only fire cave is inbound. I'm just kidding. That was for the Karamja Easy Diary completed. And we're gonna rub that lamp and obviously put it on Herblore. And now we are at 30 Herblore. Might as well do the Corinne and Kebos as well. 32 Herblore. Death runes. Finishing up the day with an obvious birdhouse run. Friday, 29 hunter. Like it's nothing. Don't forget your willow branches for Enlightened Journey. And there's 9 rune crafting after Enter the Abyss. That was for the Lumbridge and Drainer Easy Diary. And another 2500 Herblore for level 33. Varrock Easy Diary for 34 Herblore. Just gathering the supplies for Edgar's Ruse. Getting some chicken. Since this patch is disease free, I decided to plant everything. So we have tomatoes, limpworts for Temple of Ikov, and an herb, just a guam. Also, this is how I navigate the troll room, if anybody wanted to know. There's Edgar's Ruse completed. 11k for 38 Herblore. We finish off the day with 31 Hunter. The days go by fast. He's getting so big. All right, Saturday here, day number 6 of the week with 32 hunter. I actually had to come down here and mine some volcanic ash. Use volcanic ash in super compost to make ultra compost. Now, doing this portion of Tybo One Eye cleanup, I did not get a gout tuber, so I was like, you know what? I won't go to 100% favor. I'll just waste this 60, and I'll get 100% later another day, because I need a gout tuber anyways. Grabbing some super compost. The pineapples will make super compost, and then use the volcanic ash for ultra compost to then use on our first Renar seed, so that we can ensure we get a minimum of 6. Death runes. This bird was messing me up, I'm not even gonna lie. Supposedly you can dodge the attack, but I wasn't able to. There's 10,000 herb lore from My Arm's Big Adventure. 41 herb. Day number 7, you need 12 willow branches. You don't have to cut the tree down, just keep harvesting the branches. And then we immediately start with one small favor. While we do one small favor though, we're gonna grab things we need for Dragon Slayer. So we grab the silk, we heat up the pot of water. The pot of water is not for Dragon Slayer, by the way. We grab some Wizard Mind Bombs. Learn how to make the Guthix Rest. That'd be perfect for Zulrah later. Grab a bucket of wax for Troll Romance. Now, you can get extra gems from this guy. So I actually had to end up getting 2 jades from him, and he wouldn't give me anymore. And I crushed every jade. So I ran to the bank, grabbed 5 more jades, and wouldn't you know it, the first one I go to cut cuts perfectly. It's crazy. This dude despawned if you don't kill him fast enough. So I went and got Mage, come back, sat him down. On my way back for one small favor, I stopped by the Oracle and went down underneath Dwarf Mountain, Ice Mountain, whatever, and did this portion of Dragon Slayer for this map piece. I had to come down here and kill these dwarves anyways. I swung by Drainer, grabbed some nails and planks, fixed up my boat for sailing, and then walked over to the jail and killed the goblin for his map piece. And there's one small favor completed for 20,000 Herblore XP. Level 45 Herblore. Going to Remington with the old captain here to get the last final piece. This guy must not know I'm on time restriction. He was taking his sweet time. I'm joking. Finally, after assembling the map, fixing our boat, finding a captain, we're going to the island of Crandor to fight Elvard. And there it is, deader than dead. Nom, nom, nom. There's Dragon Slayer 1 completed for a ton of levels. I know what you're all thinking. Oh my god, it's another Working Man video. Look, okay, I've been busy, alright? Here's the proof. Starting off with a Enlightened Journey for some easy fire making XP. The whole goal here is going to be 35 fishing. So all of this, the 30 fire making, the sea slug, all of this is just for 35 fishing. There's 33. Turning in that cat for some death runes. And there's the final fishing level. And it's for Temporals. the first boss we'll be up against. Roll the rest of the week. If you're looking for me, I'll be on the dock with my harpoon cocked, possibly feeding my cat meow. If you an angler, yeah, not a spirit angler, yeah. Everybody know the game, don't stop trying to make it to the top for your get popped now. If you an angler, yeah, just a spirit angler, yeah. I had to suffer, so I wanted you to suffer too. This is loot from around 225 checks, level 35 to 65 fishing, done only at Temporos. Nothing too great from the caskets there. We did get some good jewelry pieces, but no rune pieces like I was looking for. So I turned some of the necklaces into dig site pendants, and that way now I don't have to run to the dig site, hop on the boat, take the long way. Now we can just go straight there, no problem, and sold off all the rest. High out, whatever the shop wouldn't take. You know, standard procedure. Okay, so now that we're done with Temporos, we need to try and complete Taiba 1 Trio. In order to do that, I need an agility potion. And to get the Toad Flax, I did some Brimhaven agility. That's going to be it for week number 5. And, yeah. So after week 5, I took a short vacation to the mountains. We hiked and seen some waterfalls. Did a little bit of fly fishing. I didn't catch anything, by the way. And we even rolled some roller coasters. Not rolled, but rode. And you know, the vacation was great, but coming back home was where I ran into issues. I had no membership left, no bond money, so did what I had to do to make a little bit of money.
How do you like 3rd and 30? Ard steps up. He's got a mile to go. He's going to be knocked down from behind after a short gain by R. Mason Thomas. He had driven the ball to... Just do get it off. It's here, pressure from the pocket, delivers a low throw, an accurate one, and Dion.
All right, finally a member again, back on Working Man. You know, completing quests, gaining levels, stocking up on supplies, and obtaining some new gear. The whole reason we did Temporos in one go was to go ahead and get a big requirement out of the way for RFD. It's not cooking, but it's going to help towards cooking all the fish we gained from the rewards. There's animal magnetism for our little Avis attractor. Hopefully we won't have that too long. And then go ahead and make it a Bruto shield. I got the Bruto mask and snake hides from My Arms, Making Friends with My Arm, or My Arm's Big Adventure. Yeah, My Arm's Big Adventure. And yeah, it's already coming in clutch against the headless beast. There's getting ahead for some crafting and construction XP. It also helped out during the jungle demon fight. There's Monkey Madness completed. I told myself I was going to talk like a normal person, but I swear I do these two things too late at night. Here's claiming our experience from Darrow. Don't forget, he'll hook you up. Just grabbing some random levels while doing some RFD requirements, quest requirements. Buying a new pair of gloves, like I haven't bought every pair before this. I swear. I'm gonna buy Rune and then Barrows, and that's it. I'm not buying anything else. But the Gridmaster came out, so I started cooking some fish AFK while I played Gridmaster on the side, and then kind of felt bad for wasting a lot of time. So I hopped off the Gridmaster, hopped back on Working Man, and tried to knock out that final level 66 cooking. That's where we're gonna stop at. We're gonna get a Chef's Delight to boost to 70, and yeah. Just grabbing some more Limpwort seeds for Temple of Ikov later. I only have like 8 Limpwort roots. I needed some more seeds to go ahead and plant them. And then for Chef's Delight, you're gonna need barley, which I'm planting now. And then you're gonna need ale yeast, which you can get in Keldagrim. Like on the top floor of the bar, you just go up there and talk to this fella. And then you're gonna need some chocolate dust, which you can just buy chocolate bars, use a knife, get some chocolate dust. It's whatever. Picked up some wines to try to make some money. I wanted to buy me some Rune plate legs to look cool.
Alright, come on.
I was sadly mistaken.
Hello. About 1 Rune plate leg. What? 64K? Oh, dude, fuck off. 64K? Nah, he's bullshit.
Yeah, he wasn't bullshitting. I don't know why it's so high. I had no idea. All right, good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you to week 7 of the Working Man's Iron Man. This week we focused on skilling for Barrow's gloves. There's 40 mining. 50 mining. All for some ice gloves. She didn't stand a chance. There's 40 smithing for family crest. Moltres don't want none of these kicks. I know it says you cannot fail this, but you can eat it. So I made a couple extra. Thanks to this guy right here for helping me with the Heroes Quest completed. Tons of XP, a lot of skills. Okay, so I went ahead and made my Chef's Delight. Get it brewing while I went and got 46 agility. Killing the spirits in the Enchanted Valley. I didn't get what I was looking for, so I ordered some Chinese. And then went back and got a Rune Axe. There's 40 fire making. And 50 tree killing. And 50 fire making. Just turning in my bar crawl card. So initially, I wanted to train magic through Slayer. So enjoy this 13-second montage because I love this game. What even is that? I had to Google it. Yeah, this task was not worth. So I said, forget it. I'm going to the desert. And there's 49 thieving. Now we can pick from, oh wait, we need a lock pick. Okay, so we go to Martin Thwaite. He can only sell us one if we have 50 thieving. So I had to run all the way to the wilderness, pickpocket these rogues until I finally got one. I tried to get multiple. They wouldn't give them to me. So there's 32 fletching. So what we want to do, oh, there's 50 thieving. Now, so what we're doing here is we're going to elk while we steal these valuable stealing artifacts or whatever it's called. I got all the nature runes from these tree spirits, and we're just alching everything in the bank while we thieve these things. Yes, I had to resort to alching cromwans, burnt cromwans. They give you no money, but I just needed the magic XP. There's 53 thieving. I still had a little bit of XP to go, so I went to Ogress Warriors and like down in Corsair Cove to try to get some expensive drops and also to get the last magic level. And there it is, 57 magic. That's all we need. Oh, with the new woodcutting levels, we could travel from Lumbridge all the way to Edgeville in one go. There's Family Crest completed, and the Eagle's Peak, not the bot quest, Eagle's Peak completed for 40 hunter. What's going on, everybody? It's the Working Man Week 8. It's been a while since we put a video out, but I've been working, you know. Working Man's been working. So this episode primarily focuses on getting our hunter level high enough to catch nature implings. Before we do that, we need to get access to the Hunters Guild. The nature implings will give us the logs we need for desert treasure, and the video pretty much stops right before we do desert treasure. So if you want to see how I got there, watch the rest of it. Not going to do a lot of talking throughout any of the video. So thank you for watching, and good luck.
Access granted.
Nope, that's not happening. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the working man here. Just grabbing some strange fruit. About to start doing some questing. And yeah, Barrow's gloves this week. Smoke diamond. Blood diamond. This area is multi-combat, be careful. Ice diamond. Luckiest I ever gotten. Bring 1 lockpick and it fails. Pickpocket 2 from the bandits close by. First one fail. Third one on the money. I don't think I've ever been that lucky. There's our shadow diamond and desert treasure completed. Now, as you seen in the opening clip, I could not beat Agrith Nana, the banana boss. So I was gonna do some Slayer, but it got boring. Early level Slayer is really boring. 1 second. So I decided to go make a little bit of money and bought a rune mace to fight the big boss Scurious. First kill took all my food, all my prayer, but I did get a Scurious spine, 1 KC. Doesn't get any better than that. So we took that spine and the mace, made the bone mace, and I decided we needed some gear upgrades because those little rats were actually just tearing me to pieces. So after, you know, selling some more wines, I think I did 200 to make 140k. Bought a pair of rune plate legs for the defense, a berserker helm for the strength bonus, and an addy kite for some more tank. Kills went a lot better, had more food. There's a rune square shield drop. Already an upgrade. And after 10 kills, you know, I just felt like it wasn't worth it. So I went back, killed the banana man, and killed the old flam bead. Just ran around, snared, shot him. Caramel melted with the fire blast. Ate all of the dessert. And just, you know, I don't have any jokes for that. And then obviously everybody knows the final boss, or the Cultinamancer, is very easy. I just ran around, slapped him with the fire blast to get this over with. There is the Cultinamancer defeated, and RFD completed finally. And I didn't have enough money to buy the Barrow's gloves, so I sold some more wines. And finally, we now own a pair of Barrow's gloves on the working man. After about 5 days and 1 minute. Try to get it done before 5 days. There's the stats, 63 combat. That's all the stats we needed to get Barrow's gloves on the working man. But it's right back to the grind with 46 crafting. I know. 55 wood or tree killing. Alright, so if you drink the Eclipse red wine with 55 wood cutting, it gives you a +1 boost, and you're able to do the split the Arctic pine logs. And you can also make your Anita's Knot shield as well. That 1 wood cutting level probably would have took me forever, so I just boosted with the wine. There is a Troll King's head and the Fremenic Trials completed. Wait, Fremenic Isles completed. But I still can't, I can't wear the helmet, 55 defense. So I went and did a whole lot of low level Slayer. Pirates are not nice, by the way. Just ignore you. So And after a ton of Slayer, I decided, let's go and try to get a Berserker ring. That was me prepping some trees. And I'm going to end the video here doing the same thing as when it started. Hey everyone, welcome to week 10 of the Working Man's Iron Man. This week we're jumping into sailing, the newest skill in old school RuneScape. For low-level Iron Men, it's a game changer, offering new ways to travel, fresh weapons to chase, and, most importantly, a whole lot of fun. Turn down for what? I'll be sharing the methods I use to train, and we will see just how far you can get in only 15 hours of gameplay. So grab your gear, hop aboard, and let's set sail into week 10 of the Working Man's Iron Man. We start off our journey doing the Pandemonium quest. It's just like your sailing introduction, and that gets you to 5 sailing. Now, after the quest, I didn't really know too much to do. I haven't watched anything on sailing, but I eventually found the notice board and started taking jobs delivering cargo. When you do these jobs, you should get it from the port that you start on, which, see, I'm at the Pandemonium, would take me to Port Sarim, but I did not do that. So now I have to go all the way to Port Sarim, grab my cargo, and come back. But if I did it the right way, you would take it from Pandemonium to Port Sarim and then from Port Sarim back. I'm sure you all know how it works by now. With that delivery, we get 15 sailing and some shark paint. Buying the skiff and doing the prying times quest. The little boss kill there. Prying times completed. More and more port tasks. I finally got the level to upgrade the skiff, and I wanted to try some salvaging just to see, 1, the AFK possibility, and 2, the amount of XP that I would get. In my opinion, it's not worth it salvaging. Just do cargo until you get to level 30, going through each port available at your level. And a break from salvaging to do current affairs. Once that quest was complete, I had the level to make a few upgrades to the ship, including the mast, the salvaging hook. But like I said, the salvaging wasn't great, and as soon as I got to level 30, I went straight to the Barracuda Trials. Honestly, the faster you hit level 30, the better. The whole goal here is to pick up the crates, go in the little whirlpools, grab your rum, and avoid the lightning bolts. You want to try to beat the time at the top left corner. That'll give you certain rewards at certain tiers. So this first tier reward I get is called the Stormy Key. It unlocks this little pirate outfit that you get on Pandemonium Island. It's pretty neat. Upgraded my teak hull to try and make times for the tier 2 and tier 3. Tier 2, once again, not too hard. There's the barrel stand. It lets you put some kind of barrel on your boat. I don't know. I haven't done it. I don't know yet. Now, attempting the level 3 Barracuda trials, they are, I would say they're a little harder than 1 and 2, hence the reason they are number 3. I tried to go around this thing a few times until I started looking at, hey, maybe I should upgrade my ship. And then to upgrade your ship, you obviously need, like a better sail. I already have like quote unquote the best kind of hull I can get. So in order to do the sail, I'm gonna need hemp. And you take that hemp and you use it on a spinning wheel to get some yarn, some hemp yarn, I don't know, and then you make a bolt of canvas, and with that bolt of canvas you then make the upgraded sail. So I was trying to think of everything to get this run to work, but don't let this steer you away. Barracuda Trials is 100% the best XP. Like you should be there. So to get hemp seeds, you have to kill the new monsters that were released with sailing. I opted at first to kill the ospreys, but they were just tearing my boat apart. Instead, I killed the terns, which have a higher drop rate for I say higher, but it's actually, I guess, lower drop rate for the hemp seeds. I had no luck, so went back and tried to get the times with the boat that I have, and I was getting close, sometimes closer than others, and then eventually we end up completing the time, getting the Ralph's fabric roll, which you use to make a flag for the back of your boat to show that you have completed the Marlin rank in the Barracuda Trials. And would you know it, after I did it once, I did it 2 more times back to back. So it is possible with a teak hull and an oak mast to do the Marlin rank at the Barracuda Trials. Once I cut town with my new flag on my ship, I kept doing the Barracuda Trials. The XP is great. 419 is still my personal best. And once I achieved level 50 in sailing, it was time to build my sloop. And this is how I did it. Montage incoming. Okay, so for anyone who was wondering, we had to get 200k just to buy the boat. Now the reason we want this sloop is because it is good for killing mobs, so we can eventually get those seeds. It is great for salvaging because it has the salvaging station built in on the deck. There's also many other things you can build. I'm just not quite there yet. Welcome everyone to my tree killing locked Iron Man. Just kidding. Pretty decent week, in my opinion. We got let down, but we also made some pretty good progress. So let's get into it. Alright, this week the goal is to camp for blowpipe. The stats ain't nothing crazy, but we could do with a small range upgrade. Plus, I want to test it out. To start off, we're going to need a few stats. 50 smithing for the myth bars, 58 fletching to craft the blowpipe, and 65 wood cutting to chop the tree. We started with wood cutting. Willow trees are the bee's knees, and I also needed some logs for fletching later, so I decided to stop there. This did take a while, and I got the logs I needed, so I ran off to teaks. I decided to go to teaks since they are good XP, and I need the logs for construction later. Finally, we have the 65 wood cutting. You need 66, but we'll boost with the Eclipse Red. This has used up about 6 hours of my time already, so I rushed to make some bars, and headed straight for the foundry. If you don't know how to do this, quick rundown. First, you get your commission, then you set up the mold. Once the molds are set up, you put the bars in that you want and dump the crucible. Once it's poured, make sure you have on your ice gloves and grab the blade. Once you have the sword, you balance the heat, use the right tool, and don't mess up the quality. You can use the lava to heat up the sword, and the waterfall to quench the sword. Once you're done, hand your sword into Kovac for XP and cash. I only needed to make 8 swords to go from 45 to 50 smithing. Also made 94k in the process. Right after, I taxied to Auburn and began the Veil Totems minigame. Once again, to do this, you have to complete a mini quest. Then you just run around, make the totem, carve it with the animals around you, and then add some bows for flair. From 16 levels, we got 7,200 offerings. Let's see what we get. Now that the levels for the blowpipe are done, it's time to set sail to the Great Conch and start making this thing. But once I arrived at the Great Conch, I was blindsided. I had no idea you needed a quest to access the island, and there's no way I was getting 51 Slayer in the time that I had left. So instead, I went here to the Onyx Island and started fishing for the squid beak I needed. And here we are, out of time. We got some great levels, and now we know where to go from here. For anyone wondering, the next video will be out week of January 5th. I will be playing still, and the next video should bring some nice upgrades. I'm going to train until 75 combat and start some Konar Slayer right after. So if you're on the next few weeks, see you in game World 480 Gemstone Crab. Thank you for watching, and good luck. 3 weeks of progress that fell just a tad short. Not because I didn't try or because of RNG, but because of all the little side quests RuneScape has to offer. The plan was simple, but if you play this game, you know it never stays that way. This is the working man's Iron Man. 2 hours a day, 14 hours a week of realistic, achievable progress. Let's see how it went. Welcome back. This is a longer than usual update. In time played, maybe not in video length. As I stated last video, we are at the Gemstone Crab trying to get 75 combat. There is 55 defense. I can finally wear the Needus Knot helm that we got a few weeks back. There's 60 strength. When I wasn't busy editing, I went to Scurious for a little faster XP. And there is 60 attack. I stayed longer just for cash, and we still needed the 75 combat. After getting enough GP, I went and bought a Dragon Battle Axe from the Heroes Guild. It has a special attack that boosts your strength about the same as a super strength potion. Right after I traveled to Ape Atoll and snagged a Dragon Scimitar because it's my BIS weapon right now. And with that HP level, we're now 75 combat and we can go straight to... Wait, first I have to finish my task for Vanica. Now we can go straight to Konar and start actually training Slayer. The reason we want to use Konar is very simple. The tasks are decent, you get access to the Brimstone chest, and the points are really good. With my first fire giant kill, I get the easy combat achievement. While killing fire giants, I had the bright idea to go and get my proselyte armor. So there's the wanted quest completed for 5k Slayer XP and initiate armor. You have to do the slug menace quest to get proselyte, and during the time of the recording, I didn't have the levels to do the quest. Looks like I do now though. Task complete, and we're back at Konar for another assignment. Okay, so we got Dagannoth on Waterbirth Island. There are two ways we can go about this. One is to kill the small ones just at the entrance. Another is to kill Rex. I think by now you know we went with Rex, as he drops the things that I can use, like a Berserker Ring, Dragon Axe, and Bones. So we gather some super anti-poisons and get down there. It feels like this is what I do most of the time. And there's 25 kills, and now I'm out of runes. So I go to the new moneymaker, the Giant's Foundry. It beats hopping and gathering wines. I spent all my money on death runes, and since I got 60 magic, I wanted to go and get my Major Arena 1k. I thought it might help with the Rex kills, but not really though, as it doesn't have magic damage. On KC 64, we finally see a Dragon Axe and get something that we need. Once again, we're out of runes, and so starts the never-ending cycle of making cash, buying runes, and killing Rex. 100 Rex KC and still no Berserker Ring. And with the 115 Rex kill, we get the 48 Slayer we needed. Time to start Perilous... Never mind. I need rune crafting levels. And I need to finish Twilight's Promise. And heck, while I'm here, I might as well use up those Dagannoth bones. Alright, we're finally ready for the Perilous Moons quest. The Blue and Eclipse Moon I wasn't really worried about, but I knew the Blood Moon would give me some trouble.
Nah.
Can't hold the working man down forever though, and that's quest completed for 51 Slayer. 48 construction completed, killing the Shellbane Griffin and completing the Troubled Tortugan's quest. Chopping our camphor logs and obtaining the Squid Beak, so that we can finally make the camphor blowpipe. We make a few darts, drop them in, we are ready to go and get 45 range. Then finally use this bad boy. Only really tested it at the crab and was getting 12k more XP per hour than the Dorgy. I did it, completed the list, but I still wanted to get one more thing. But I had to call it. No more food, no more death runes, and no more time with no B ring. Next week I'll focus heavy on gear upgrades, so please tune in. Thank you for watching and good luck. That's it, Mom. Welcome everyone. Right now we're upgrading our gear, but first I need 55 mining to even start this. Oh wait. 55 mining, there we go. That lets us start the Heart of Darkness. And I knew they were gonna leave me in here to almost die, but we made it. Quest done and a few levels to show for it. While I'm working on cash, this is the perfect time to go over the plan. I love plans, you love plans, right? Also, we're about a minute in, so most people are already gone by now. Okay, so the main goal is Perilous Moons, and to do that we need a very specific setup. First up are the Frost Nagwas. They're weak to stab, so we'll use the Dragon Scimitar. They also drop the Glacial Tumultlis, which are decent crush weapons. Next, we're going to farm some Sulfur Nagwas, and thankfully they are weak to crush. Lucky for us, we have the Tumultlis, so we are all good to go. I forgot to mention that they drop the Sulfur Blades, which are a good slash for Perilous Moons. Once we have both weapons, the plan is to go and farm some barrows for tank gear, as it makes the grind a lot easier. And finally, not leaving out our favorite low-level boss, Dagannoth Rex, for that sweet berserker ring, since the Perilous Moons are all melee bosses. While we are doing all of this, we'll be training on defense, since I need 70 to actually wear the barrow's gear. But before we start, I need to finish the Slug Menace and buy my Proselyte gear. Since the run out here is so long, we're going to have to save some prayer where we can. It's also nice to prayer flick at times to try and save a little more. They also drain your prayer if you're caught on the ice floor, so you have to keep moving. But as soon as we get the Pendant of Eights, we can teleport straight here and it changes the way we farm. Okay, now that we have the frozen boppers, it's time to kill the Sulfur Nagwa for the blades. The nice thing about these are that instead of worrying about prayer and running back, you can make these moonlight potions that'll restore your prayer and also give you a melee stat increase. The Sulfur Nagwas have the same style of prayer draining attack, but since we have the potions, it's nothing to worry about. These didn't take long at all, which is kind of unfortunate since they give great melee XP and are super AFK. Before we start the Barrows arc, I wanted to take some stock of what I have. I knew I need some cash, so getting these keys out of the way was the first place to start. Didn't get much, but every little bit helps. With 650 death runes and only 10 prayer potions, I knew I was going to have to do something about my supplies. My original plan was to use my minigame teleport to Shades of Morton, do one Barrows run, get to my boat, travel to Pest Control, do 2 games there waiting on my minigame to cool down, then go back to Barrows. I was going to try and buy the seed pack from Pest Control, then I seen that the Renars are guaranteed in the herb pack, so I was going to go for those. But after a few runs of this, I could see how crazy of a plan it was, so I decided to go and get my rogue's outfit instead. I think it was around 17 runs in total to get the full set, but it's worth it for the double loot. So now the new plan was to minigame the Barrows, then after, pickpocket Master Farmers until the cooldown was over, and I pretty much stuck to this plan. I did do a few runs of Royal Titans with an absolute gamer, and didn't get carried not one bit. But from doing this, I realized I had been severely neglecting my next slot. I guess I was just so caught up lately on the Berserker ring and getting new weapons that I forgot. And it's not like it's hard to upgrade Iron Man or not. For the Royal Titans run, I quickly made an Amulet of Strength for a very quick 10 strength bonus. Then after we ended the runs, I killed the Crazy Archaeologist and got the Amulet of Power. Not as much strength bonus, but it gives +6 in everything except range strength and magic damage. With my newfound power and will to fight to the end, I kept grinding the Barrows Renard cycle. I ended up getting a Thorax plate body around 8 KC and tons of seeds from the Master Farmers. I ended with 69 prayer potions with seeds still in the bank and herbs in the pack. And with 28 Barrows KC, we end the video here. Only the Thorax plate body to show for it, but with everything we got these 2 weeks, can you really complain? All right. I pushed this video back because I wanted to have something good to show you. So, you know that feeling when you kill the same monster for so long? You're convinced that the drop has to be close. Like, it could be the next kill 100 times in a row. Eventually, you get so deep into the grind that you start wondering if you're wasting time. But by that point, you've already invested so much that stopping feels worse than continuing. That's this episode. That's why I wanted one more week, and that's why I killed Rex 400 times. With 14 hours a week, you hope for dramatic progress, but in reality, it's not going to be like that, unless you're the biggest spoon in the world. Alright, quick recap. Last episode, we picked up the Glacial Tumultles, Sulfur Blades, a Thorax Plate Body, an Amulet of Power, and stocked up on some Prayer Potions. Which means, to finish the upgrade plan, we still need Tank Legs and the Berserker Ring. I'd also like to add King's Ransom to unlock Chivalry, which means getting Prayer to 60 and eventually 70 for Piety. This will increase our DPS once we eventually get to Perilous Moons. So, with that out of the way, here is approximately 20 hours of Barrows condensed into 27 seconds. Guthan's chain skirt are not the legs I was looking for, but they're not much worse than the others. With 120 kills, we ended up with 7 items, and 2 of them are dupes. But we're not worried about Barrows items, since the moon gear is in the game now. I paid my wife with a dupe Arm's hood for going on a Barrows date with me, and she hit me. Side note, if you want to see specifically how I did the Barrows runs, I made a short about how I approached it. Hopefully it's popping in at the top right corner. Now, during the Barrows though, I did happen to test out the Camphor Blowpipe a great deal. Using it on Arum every run, you could definitely tell it was better than its crossbow equivalent, the Myth Crossbow, which I also used. I'm calling these equal due to the fact that they are close in fletching level to craft for an Iron Man. And they both can use up to mithril ammo. I still think the requirements for the Blowpipe are high, and honestly probably not worth going for. Here is a side-by-side kill comparison for anybody who was wondering. As of the time I'm editing this video, it became standard in the OSRS YouTube scene to include an aura farm edit in your videos. Plus, you guys know I love a good montage. So, enjoy, or don't. With Barrows out of the way, we set our sights on Rex, so I stocked up on food like a storm was coming and headed off to Waterbirth Island. I'm not going to ask you to watch all 380 Rex kills, don't worry. I did miss the first Warrior Ring drop and our starting KC of 129, which by the way is over the drop rate. I'll just show every 10 kills or so. 198 KC, we get a Dragonstone drop, only a 1 out of 1024 rate, no big deal. Yeah, and I also had this issue where people were logging in right at the Rex spot. I think the only way to do this is to get into position and then close your client. So, and yeah, I'm blaming this guy for the damage I took. I get that if you can't get into the room because of the other 2 kings, that you can just run to the Rex spot and log out while hoping you don't die. But going up and down the ladder isn't that bad. Sometimes I would get down there with very little food, and other times I would have almost a full inventory. Like I said, it's whether or not they're camping the ladder, and if you have a ton of mobs up top to deal with. Getting to double the drop rate isn't that bad. Okay, we definitely get it on 3 times the rate, right? Right. Yeah, so now is when you start thinking that maybe you should have went and done something else with the time. But now that you have already put in about 20 hours, you're not so sure you should give up. Every time I run out of super anti-poisons, I have to stand here hot worlds until I get enough. And I also ran out of food again. On the bright side, this entire time, I bet you couldn't guess that I was doing my birdhouse runs. Yep, I want to get 72 hunter so I can catch the sunlight antelopes for the sunlight hunter crossbow in the future. Okay, so here's Rex's drop table for the rings, and then here's what I have gotten from the loot tracker, and everything highlighted on Rex's table is things that I've already gotten, along with the number that's beside them is how many I have obtained. Okay, we had a crazy last few weeks. I got a ton done and was a little lucky. So first, let's briefly go over the plan. Short-term goal is Perilous Moons. For that, we need a Berserker Ring, then imbue it. I need to unlock Chivalry, and I need to get at least 60 prayer, and then we need the Dragon Defender. So let's go. Berserker Ring drop from Rex have 415 KC. Finally have our hands on it. Looks good too. I had a ton of items in the bank to get rid of, so while I was doing King's Ransom, I just ran around and alched everything, and I ended up with 96k. That ain't too bad. You know, I normally try to avoid jury duty, but it seems like someone wanted some time off of work. I'd be the wizard sleeping if this was the case. So for the quest, you have to wear black armor, and I'm not gonna lie, I think black armor is the best out of like Rune and below, you know. And there is King's Ransom completed for some great XP, but the better thing is the Knight's Wave training. That's where we unlock Chivalry and eventually Piety with the prayer level. I did the poison and flinch method. It was slow, but I mean, we got through it. From there, I headed straight to Nightmare Zone to start farming the points I need for the B ring and Bew. The first ever run you do here, nah, that's kind of stupid, but the first ever run you do will look something like this. Prayer potions in the inventory. You don't really need the food, but you just pray the whole time to stock up on points that you then use on absorption potions later. Once you have the absorptions, you can go in with a rock cake or locator or whatever to bring your HP down to 1, but be sure you drink the absorption potion before like the bosses get to you. The reason for this is that they can only do 1 damage to you, I guess, because you only have 1 HP, so that will tick down the absorption by 1 instead of like 5, 7, or 10 or whatever at a time. Makes those absorption potions just last a lot longer. Just for reference, these are the bosses I would use if you're just trying to get a few points and like chill. That's kind of what I was doing this and like I think dead man mode at the time. So it was Count Drainer, Sand Snake, the Kindle, Bouncer, and Black Demon. You could go with the Headless Beast. I did this on the first run, but he was dropping those things from the ceiling, so I just kicked it out. Finally got the points I need to imbue the ring, so it doubles the strength bonus. That's why we imbue it. So we pay the points, imbue it, double strength bonus. Is good. Maybe going dry at Rex was a good thing because we actually had enough bones for 61 prayer, and we only needed 60 for Chivalry. So now we have a little bit extra progress towards Piety. All right, so we're at the Warriors Guild now. You need a total of 130 in attack and strength combined, or 99 in either to get into this place. And the way I get tokens is by doing Mithril animated armor. Now, when I went to go get the image that pops up in the video, I realized that I should have been using black, as it's technically better tokens per HP point, and it's easier to kill, and I already had it set in my bank. So if you're a lower level like me, then use the black armor and save your food or prayer or pointer finger if you're flicking the whole time. I rounded up to about 2k tokens and made my way up the stairs to the Cyclops and was instantly met with 103 KC for the Bronze Defender. I thought this place was going to be another Rex after that, but they started coming in slow. Be sure that when you get the Defender you're hunting, I don't really sound like that. Be sure that when you get the Defender that you're hunting, you walk out, show the lady at the door so you can start getting the next one. I'm not going to bore you with each drop, I'll just slap them up here. Now that we have the rune you need, you got to head out and go outside, go down the trapdoor and fight the stronger ones. I ended the total grind at 501 KC, which is honestly not too bad since the lower ones are around 1 in 50 and the dragon is 1 out of 100. So all of them, you got about 450 kills total. So 501 is nothing to really complain about. With that out of the way, now I can finally start some Perilous Moons. Right after I fix this broken armor. Thanks. Now we start. So the Moonlight Potion dosage goes with your Herblore level. Higher level, means making more for those pots. The food also scales with your levels. So like the lizards with hunter and the fish with fishing, obviously. Depending on what skill is higher for you, that's the one you should go get your food from, since they heal you based on the respective level that it takes to obtain them. I honestly can't stand the blood moon and how much it heals up. Easily the hardest boss, but you know, the longer we're here, the stronger we get, right? Just this is the only thing you need to learn here. You step back on the puddle at the right time to avoid the damage. Now, if you play with sounds on, right, I'm gonna mute the music. If you play with sounds on, you just have to move right when the sound is done, and you'll get used to it. If you don't use sounds, you just move when it's at when the circle is at the max size. Simple. For the eclipse moon phase, this is where you do most of the damage on the clone. Just click once right in the circle that is under the eclipse. As soon as it comes up, just click the circle. Easy. This one is obvious. Just walk around the big ball. I use control click to walk, then run around, control click like that. For blue moon, same thing with sounds. Just move it to the last crackle. And visual, well, I really don't have a visual. So just sound, last crackle, move. Immediately click back. It's like a rhythm. The whole game. That's it. When you're done with the run, just go to the chest, claim your loot. Now, these runs take me about 13 minutes with the average completion of 320 for the whole set, doing about 60 chests a week. We're looking at about 5 to 6 weeks. Now, if we get lucky, great, but you know the working man's luck. Here's my chest so far, though. Yeah, that's right. A blue moon spear and a blood moon chest plate at 200 KC so far. We just might be at a lucky boss after all. Next video might be the 2 or 3 week mark. I'll make a poll or something. Let you guys decide, because I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all gonna be Perilous Moons. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but let's jump right in. We're at the Perilous Moons, of course, trying to get everything it has to offer. It's not very entertaining watching somebody open chest after chest, so I've included some real-time audio that I never usually do, and I want to address like one very important topic. At 22 KC, we get the dual Maka Whittles. Oh, I guess I could do that challenge where you kill it with its own weapon, right? This is gonna be slow though, huh? Ah, fuck. Didn't I? Don't matter. I should have banked these, dude. Okay, I'll drop them.
No.
Oh.
Are you kidding?
Okay, so here's how I do my runs. From the loot room, I run out, I think it's north, to the blood moon. Fight it while I have a full inventory of food. It spits me out right here next to the blue moon, and I don't really need much food for it. So that leaves me right here at the eclipse. I go ahead and fill up on food because sometimes, you know, that thing can hit you like crazy. And once I kill it, it puts me out right back outside of its lair. I go up, fill up on stuff, and then go loot and be ready for blood again. With that out of the way, it brings me right to the topic that I want to talk about. Child neglect. Yep. Here's a very great example of it. I'm going to let these next few minutes play out with very little intervention. If I type something, it's going to be in a little bit because I got to, I'm fighting this boss right now. What do you need to type? I can tell you how to spell it. It's gonna be a minute before I can. Oh, it's gonna be a minute before I can finish this. I forgot.
But just get him the dang king.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
How'd you almost done? You been training? Did you been training?
I'm almost done, baby.
And then you can type stuff.
Yeah, I forgot all about it, kid. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, no matter what, it happens. Nothing happens. It don't matter if you forgot.
I killed him.
You won? You won. Did you die?
No, we.
Oh, you did.
What you want me to type there, Goofy? I hate Blood Moon, by the way, just so you know. Eclipse Moon Helm on 34. Blood Moon Helm on 43. There's the loot for 58 KC so far. From 43 to 106 was nothing. And then this. Oh my god, that's back to back. Yeah, son, finished the Blue Moon at 118 KC, so we went to only doing Eclipse and Blood. 37 KC later, and I pull the Eclipse Moon Tassets.
Oh, yes.
45 more KC, and we are done with Perilous Moons at 200, an even number. Here's everything I got from Moons. Can't wear anything except for the Blood Moon gear. The next step is to get 75 range to use the Eclipse for a fire cape. I'm going to do that through Slayer. I can do the cape with 61 and a rune crossbow, but I'm not. After finishing this task with Konar, I had to ditch her and go to Neve. I'm really searching for those gear upgrades, so I unlocked Griffin's task for the Folly chance. This is where we're ending off. Got the moons done really quickly, thankfully, and now we're just working towards Fire Cape and TOA. If you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments. It was kind of a rushed video because I have a ton going on. Also, spend some time with your family. I tried to make this video short so it doesn't take up too much time from your already busy lives. But if you want them a little longer, just let me know in the comments. So, thank you for watching and good luck. Oh, this isn't supposed to be here. Now that's where we start. 60 range, we unlock some mixed hide armor. To be honest, I don't really need it, but for some reason, I have to have it. So we chop some yew logs for birdhouse runs, and I don't have the crafting level, which is unfortunate. We'll go with maple, I guess. That first birdhouse run starts the entire long grind for level 69 hunter. From there, we can boost to 72 in order to catch the sunlight antelopes for the fur. I started at 340k hunter, and I have to get 668k, so this could take a while. But while old me tries to remove every animal on Gillinor, let me briefly get into the main subject. Distractions. It happens to me quite often, and probably you guys as well. Just like getting 60 range and instantly wanting the new gear, I then veer off from Slayer and go get something that may not be worth it. I know the boots are good since, rune boots take 80 Slayer, but other than that, I already had the full Eclipse gear. Something in me just can't say no though, and I don't have a solution for this type of ADG&G. So, if that's what you're waiting around for, then I'm sorry to let you down. Maybe someone else does and they can comment why down below. You know what? Leave a comment if you do this type of spin-off gameplay. You're going to see this a lot during the video. There are many examples of this and they don't all pay off. There is 68 hunter, just one more to go. 69 hunter completed. Time to start the 53 herb lore grind. I started by cleaning all of the herbs in the bank that I got from Perilous Moons, and ended up making super attack potions as well as energy potions, and a good thing I did too because I use them a ton later. After 53 herb lore, I can make the hunter's potion for the boost. With the boost, I can catch the antelopes for their valuable fur. You need the fur and 20k for this guy at the Hunters Guild, and you can look just like me. A full set of mixed hide gear. So, right back to Slayer. I promise, right after these bones. I just figured, since I'm on Varlamore, I can use them up for some prayer levels. And piety will help in the future Slayer grind. I ended up with around 74k bone shards, but I ran out of sunfire splinters to finish out the rest of the wines. So I just sent it with regular wines. And we got 70 prayer. Now we can do Slayer. Right after I finish some clues in the bank. Might have been a waste of time because we got nothing but an MSB. See? I told you we'd get back to Slayer. The demon task is done and we get Ankus. Unfortunately, I had to use the bone crossbow because I didn't have enough rune arrows. But the bone crossbow wasn't it. So I went to the dreamland of rune arrows. LMS. Let's just say it went as expected. Tons of deaths, not enough bots, and for 27 minutes of work, probably wasn't worth it. But we got 600 rune arrows for some more slaying. Back to the Anku, and there is 56 Slayer. With this, we can do the Path of Gluffery to unlock warp creatures, which drop the warp scepter. This is the first kind of like powered staff you get on your Iron Man account, and really the only one until 87 when you unlock Cavecrack. So we pushed through the Eyes of Gluffery, even though the helper wasn't working on this part right here. I had to figure it out myself. There's the Eye of Gluffery completed. Getting right into the Path of Gluffery. Good thing I made all those energy potions because I used them like crazy. During all the long runs on this quest, I was guzzling them. There it is, the Path of Gluffery completed for some lamps, and also the unlock for warp creatures. I won't be going for this right away. I'll just wait until I get them assigned from a Slayer Master. The Anku task was done, and now we get Griffins from Neve. I've never done this boss before, so I looked up the wiki, and this is the best gear that I can use against it, since you have to be over 40 kg. Trust me, I tried Barrow's gear, Nita's not, but nope. Just full Addy with a rune kite. Can't even bring my defender. Sad, I'm telling you. That piety coming in handy since it's a melee boss. The first kill took 2 minutes 30 seconds. I read on the wiki that if you get poison, you can take off all your armor and it'll like cure it, but it almost got me killed. 58 Slayer. This unlocks Cave Horrors, which drop the Black Mask. It provides a player 16.67% on attack and strength boost for your current Slayer task. It also is a critical component for the Slayer Helm. The only part you can't buy. Hold up, wait, what was that? Oh? With the Bell's Folly drop, instead of going to kill some Cave Horrors, I have to get this thing all nice and shiny first. Doing so requires 70 smithing. I hit up the blast furnace for the ores, and straight to the factory on a 12-hour shift. At 66 I can boost with a Kovacs grog. I drink the super attack, and when the boost drops, drink the grog to ensure I have the maximum boost time. With a new Bell's Folly and a ton of cash from the foundry, it's time to start the process of a Black Mask. We start with completing the rum deal and go straight into Cabin Fever to unlock Mostly Harmless. Little safe spot action for the horrors. I'm not sure if it's the best spot, but it's the one that I found, you know. 100 kills in, not yet. The drop rate is 1 out of 512, so hopefully we get a little lucky. At 130 KC, we get the drop of a Black Mask. Another Bell's Folly at 78 KC. And just look at the personal best, way better than the minute and 40-ish time I had before. The money here is also decent. Getting rune claws and rune scimitars really add up. That was like 135k from 29 kills. There is 80 strength and also 71 attack at the end of the task. Now, earlier, I don't think I showed this because I couldn't find it, but I got 61 range during the Anku task. This leads into another runoff of not doing what I need to do just for one small upgrade. With 61 range, we unlock the notorious rune crossbow. Just remember, everything that is shown from here on out is for this weapon. All the time and the tangents that take away from Slayer are for a better ranged weapon until, you know, we get to the ad level. So here we are at the Crazy Archaeologist with a drop rate of 1 out of 25 for the rune crossbow. This shouldn't take too long. If you've never done this boss, it's not very hard. Just be able to read. Pray ranged and watch out for when he says Rain of Knowledge. When he does, just run out of the way of the projectiles. They will hit the ground and bounce around to another spot. So just watch the, just keep an eye on them. Also, don't get into melee range. This is in the wilderness, but only level 24. Most of the time you'll never see anybody unless they're here to fight the boss. Well, it looks like it's a 1 out of 49 for us. But we finally got it and did one more to make it an even 50. Next, we need to imbue the black mask. This costs 1.2 million points at Nightmare Zone, so we went to the PvP arena instead. This went a little better than LMS, but I think most people here don't actually care about winning the duels, because it's only a 4-point difference between winning and losing. So after a short time, 30 to 40 minutes or so, we have the imbue scroll and can use it on our black mask. Now, in addition to the 16.67% boost to attack and strength, now with the black mask we'll get a 15% ranged and mage boost while doing Slayer. Range, remember? I bought a few broad bolts, got the feathers from the bank, started fletching broad arrows. Just kidding. I don't have broader fletching unlocked, so I can't actually make them. So, the 50 crazy art kills, wasted. 150k for the bolts, gone. Didn't really waste the imbuing because I can still wear the mask, but you get the idea. By the time I get to 300 Slayer points through regular Slayer, I'll probably be close to 75 range for that level. Maybe, I don't know. So it's back to the Slayer grind, and Neve gives us Griffins again. This is actually an unlock, and I don't have to block the task. Just take it out of the rotation by unchecking the box in the unlock section. Now I'm not going to waste 30 points because I need the 300 for broader fletching, and I'm not doing any more Shellbane since I have the Folly. So for me, it's just the regular ones and a Dorgy. Sad, I know, but I need a train range and I have to save points. I didn't even finish the task, but it's okay. So as always, here are the stats. Time played. We actually did some quests this time too. And thank you for watching, and good luck.